This is not a kid-friendly show.
Yo, what's going on, mind? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. Today we're going to be covering a tweet by the main RuneScape official Twitter. So without any further ado, let's go check it out. It says, here are some primitive UI mobile mockups for your enjoyment. Expect the final versions to look somewhat different. Thoughts. And then we got two images showing up basically what the current state of the UI is for the mobile interface. So let's go check it out. So this one right here is like your main interface. This is going to be what you're using for most of the time if you're not doing things like combat. So I'm just going to go in a clockwork motion, starting from the top left. So the top left, you have your, what they're calling a parent button. It's going to display your character chat head. It opens up a parent home screen just by tapping on it, and it has tasks as well as other notifications. Moving on to the notification area, that's going to be your top center screen. And that is going to have, I guess, notifications like level ups, achievements, things of that sort. Probably also things like your skilling progress, where if you're using like the Make X interface, etc. Moving on, we got the compass in the world map. Simply tapping on the compass will open the entire world map. And if you swipe away from the world map, it'll condense it back down to the mini map. Holding on the compass button will reset the default camera. And you can also tap on the mini map just as you would in the main game by clicking on it to move. It also has pinch zoom functionality. Next up, we have the child ribbon. This is a more simplified version of the ribbon that we have in the main game, mainly focusing on things like your quests, skills, backpack, worn equipment, and abilities. You can tap on any of these icons or drag them out to show them, and the size adapts to the compass plus the combat mode. And it is scrollable. If you just swipe up or down, you can cycle through the various different icons. Right next to it is the child window. In this specific case, it happens to be the inventory open, but I'm sure if you click on any of the other icons, it will change to whichever one you have to click on. Size will adapt to the mini-map as well as combat mode, and to interact with it, you simply just tap. It does have the same scroll swipe functionality as the child ribbon. If you want to move an item, all you gotta do is hold and drag. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Next up, we got the action bar at the bottom center of your screen, where I'm sure you'll feel those bars to the left and the right of the combat symbol, which in the center, I'm pretty sure is determining whether you're in auto retaliate or not. So that center button with the two cross swords, that's auto retaliate or not. So to the left and right of that is probably where your abilities are going to be. Above that, you have your prayer, your HP, and your summoning, so you can utilize those functionalities there. Pretty standard, pretty straightforward. And then finally, we have the chat box. Be centered on the left of your screen, according to this early mockup. And if you swipe it away, you can hide it. You can also enter an entire full screen chat if you want to just look at the chat. Chat channel switching is to be discussed, as well as chat notifications are going to show up here. So yeah, pretty standardized. And again, like I said early on in the video, this is all not set in stone. Things may change if you give your feedback, but overall, it's looking pretty decent. Alright, so next up we have a combat mode. This time the layout changes pretty slightly in some ways and pretty drastically in others. So following the same suit, we're going to go and cover everything in a clockwise fashion starting from the top left. So we got the parent button, which is locked during combat. It'll display an in-combat icon and will be largely inaccessible during combat. However, it'll still let you know if you have notifications, etc. Right next to it's going to be a small window for target info. There's going to be like things like debuffs, probably HP on the monster, etc. and things of that sort. Next up, we have the notification area, exactly identical to the last thing, so nothing really new to discuss there. Then we have the world map and compass, again, very similar to exactly how it was in the other interface, so not really going to go into that. Next up, we have the child ribbon, pretty much the same idea, but this time it is condensed to a much smaller ribbon. Again, not much more to say about this other than the size has changed. Next up, we got the revolution ability bar for automated ability rotation, not click to activate. It is hideable if you swipe it away. Other than that, very similar action bar functionality. However, this time the cross swords icon now shows you your adrenaline buildup, so that's pretty interesting to note. And then the biggest change is these action buttons that you see, these large circular buttons to the left and right of your action bar. These are customizable buttons. You drag and drop items into the buttons to make them usable. They hide if they're empty and shown when dragging items. So for the most part, if you're not going to be using them, they're not going to be seen, so they'll be out of the way. But it's going to be a great place to add things that you need to emergency access to during combat, things like your food, maybe surge, freedom, provoke, those kinds of things I could see players adding to these quick action bubbles. And then the last thing is the chat button, which pretty much serves similar functionality as it does outside of combat, so nothing new here. But I'd imagine most of the time you kind of want to have it out of the way and not as big as it was in a previous interface, so it doesn't cloud your field of view when you're in combat. So yeah, that is it for the early mock-ups of the mobile interface. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Again, this is subject to change because it's not fully set in stone of what it's going to look like, but just to give you early stages of what you might expect. Anyways, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Peace.